Hasta la vista, baby. What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So Terminator 2 Judgment Day follows a cyborg identical to the one who failed to kill Sarah Connor in the first Terminator film, is sent through time, only this time to protect Sarah's son, John Connor, the future leader of the human resistance in the war against the machines. As always, first and foremost, let's start with the positives. The story was pretty cool. It was very creative. It was a genius continuation of the first one. So obviously 7 years has passed. Sarah Connor is in this mental institution, so you get like a lot of things that you gotta catch up with, and everything pretty much changed. And a lot has happened in between the first and the second. It was a pretty cool character build up for what happened all these years. And the story really did good for that. Plus, the characters tried to prevent Judgment Day, which in this film is clear that actually takes place in 1997, which is the start of everything. You know, you always find out in the first one that the year 2029, that's when everything's decimated. Well, obviously, that wasn't the year that happened. It was actually years and years before that. So you get to find out a little more of the backstory of what happens, or what will happen in the war. Very straightforward, very intriguing. Alright, let's talk characters. Linda Hamilton, of course, returns as Sarah Connor. In this, like I said before, a lot has happened in between the first and the second. In the first, she was this scared woman that was trying to figure out why this thing was attacking her, or was trying to kill her. Time has passed from the first to the second one, and obviously a lot of things has changed. And it actually mentions it in dialogue. John Connor actually mentions it in dialogue of what happened in between. She turns out to be this military leader type character, and you clearly see it in this film. Once she shows up, you get the persona and you get that vibe off of her that she's a completely different woman from the first one. She's fierce, and it's like she's gotten molded into a warrior, a soldier. And can you blame her? She's like the only one that actually understands what's going to happen in the future, but nobody believes her. So you kind of have to feel sorry for this woman, but at the same time, she's got it. She can take care of her own. Arnold Schwarzenegger returns as the T-800, which of course is a different model compared to the first, obviously. But he's a good guy in this. He's had his chance to play a villain in the first, but he's clearly a good guy in this. And it shows it right off the bat. I'm not giving too much away. There's a biker bar scene at the beginning, right when he shows up, where you actually see he is a good guy. And he doesn't kill anybody. He just tosses some people around. If you push him, that'll happen. But right off the bat, you know that he's a good guy in this. So don't threat. Of course, he's the one that gets sent through time, through the same year, that protects John Connor in this. Edward Furlong plays John Connor. He had to have been like 13 or 14 at the time of this film. He played a pretty cool John Connor. It was a pretty good start to showing the guy that was mentioned all the time in the first in passing. But when they got to this one, they decided to focus most of the storyline on him, which is a good thing, because after what you've seen in the first, you have to know something more about what's to come, and more about this guy, John Connor. Edward Furlong played that part pretty well. He's smart, compassionate. Some of the dialogue between him and Arnold was pretty hilarious, but I'll get to that later. Robert Patrick, which this is the first film I actually seen him in, plays the T-1000, a liquid metal type Terminator, sort of like a shapeshifter, because he can shapeshift into anybody if he kills you, or if he touches you at the least. But we all know he's going to kill you if he's going to shapeshift into you. He plays the main villain of this, gets sent back through time from Skynet to try to kill John Connor, of course, and he did a pretty good job as the T-1000. This man was built. In the chase scene, when he was trying to chase after John Connor on a moped, he actually caught up with him while John Connor was going as fast as he can. He trained vigorously for that. That was all him running. He could actually run at the speed of a bike or a motorcycle in full speed. That's how fast he was. And that was pretty interesting. And getting back to the dialogue between Arnold and Edward, It was hilarious. John Connor would try to teach the Terminator certain ways, certain human ways, and come back. There was a scene where they were in a parking lot, and these guys were trying to save John from this big man because they thought he was in trouble. I do admit John Connor was being a little bit of a brat here, but in the end, the Terminator was about to kill one of the guys, and it was like, you just can't go around killing people. Why? What do you mean why? Because you can't. Why? Because you just can't, okay? Trust me on this. And that's how it was. And that was hilarious. And there was like more funny dialogue that came up that I won't mention, but it was pretty hilarious. The look and feel of this film was pretty good. Unlike the first Terminator, they pretty much dropped the whole horror element and replaced it with just straight up sci-fi action, which is where this franchise is originally based off of, but I'm still convinced that the first one had more horror elements. But unlike that film, Terminator 2 is straight up sci-fi action. It laid it all out in terms of the story, the action, and the chemistry between characters. The special effects in this was a major improvement. Of course, this movie came out in 1991, which was around the same time that the CGI and digital effects departments was blowing up. It looked really realistic. It looked really slick, cool, and I really loved it, especially with the T-1000. Brad Fiedel returns for the score in this, and unlike the first one, it was more laid back in this. The whole score itself was changed, but for the better. The action in this was great. They upped it on a completely different level. Of course, this being a sequel, that's obvious. And of course, James Cameron returned to the director's chair of this, and like with the first one, he created something unique. And like I said, this was a perfect follow-up to something that was already established as being a wide sensation. I mean, he did a really great job. Like with the first one, he returned with all sincerity, and he did a really good job. So my final thoughts, this was a perfect follow-up to an already established fantastic franchise. It was great action, great sci-fi, and it was great fun. I'm giving Terminator 2 Judgment Day an A+. So Terminator 2 Judgment Day, or T2 for short, what did you think of it? Leave me your comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. Like, subscribe, get reputized, and you know the rest. Stay tuned for more videos and reviews coming soon to a computer screen or a cell phone near you. Peace the rep out.